Welcome back to what was Judd Nelson's last appearance in any form of media. It's Barbie Race and Ride. Today's a very special episode. We have the lead designer of the Forest Trail, Ronald Danger, in the studio. How are you, Ronald?
I'm good, 8-Bit. Please, just call me Ron. Ron Danger.
Alright. Well, that's fantastic. So what was it like working on a project of this magnitude?
It was really interesting because I was used to computer games of a much smaller size, and when the higher-ups in RuneCraft offered me the job, I jumped at it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Like, this was a really interesting segment to program right here, the nut-catching game.
Oh yeah?
Because what you're going to see in a minute is going to pop up. You're actually going to see a squirrel dart around in the tree. We actually mocapped a squirrel. There it is down there. We actually mocapped a squirrel, and he wasn't doing much in the studio, but then he actually had a stroke and died on set.
So what did you do for the motion capture?
We actually just kind of hooked him up to fishing line and paraded him around like a marionette.
Oh, wow. And that
Yeah.
worked?
Oh yeah, it really worked. He was able to do backflips and stuff like that and leap about in the branches. It was great.
Oh.
I mean, the squirrel professional handler is a guy by the name of Manuel. He was really not pleased by the way we were kind of treating his pet, but you know what? He got paid. So,
the
yeah.
squirrel did die on set, Ron.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes that's the price you have to pay when you're an actor. The squirrel was an actor and he knew his problems.
Alright.
You did
Oh, and there he goes.
Great job.
Oh, that's beautiful animation.
Thank you. We worked very hard on that. And see, right there, that was his backflip.
Oh, wow. In relation to that sort of thing, what was the toughest obstacle for you guys to overcome in designing this level?
Fun.
The toughest obstacle, well, it was actually one of more of a graphical standpoint. I would probably say it was the Trail of Organs.
Oh, like around 6 minutes into the level?
Yeah, we'll see when we get there.
Okay, alright. So, Ron, I heard that you beat out Tim Schafer for the role of designing this level.
Yeah, I did. That was interesting because Tim had a much greater resume really than I did, but they liked my work a lot more, so they kind of just offered me this position first without conferring with him, and he thought he had the job, so he was kind of closing up shop at LucasArts, and then all of a sudden he didn't have the job. From what I heard, he just kind of went off and made his own studio, some sort of job. I don't know.
Are you guys still on bad terms because of that sort of thing?
We're not on bad terms. I wouldn't exactly call us buddies, but if we see each other at like the GDC, we don't fight anymore.
Alright, well, that's great, because I remember back in E3 of 1998, you and him got into a brawl on the stage of RuneCraft's showing.
Well, that's what he gets for insulting my children.
I can't hold that against you, Ron. So, how many people did you have on staff for the forest level?
We originally started with 37, and by the end of the project, we actually upped it up to 50 because of a couple of technical problems that we were having. One of them is in regards to the... Oh, right here, perfect! In regards to the obstacle course. I'll explain it as we're going through once we start.
Alright.
Or select the horse to continue riding the trail.
Alright, so once the scene loads right here, you're going to notice in the top right-hand corner a stopwatch. And the stopwatch was actually just kind of thrown in at the last second in the initial build, but it turned out to be one of the biggest problems we had in designing the forest level.
Oh, why's that?
Because it actually wasn't stopping even when the stopwatch disappeared. So if you played the forest level first, after about 15 or 20 minutes, it would run over the amount of space it could use, and was actually going to other parts of memory, and would just hard crash the entire game. And graphics would start messing up, and Barbie would start saying weird things, and it would start basically being the soundtrack to Tarzan.
Well, you guys did incorporate the entirety of the movie into the game. I know that wasn't your choice, but...
Oh no, I was in favor of it.
Were you?
Oh yeah, because we realized in our marketing that the target demographic for Barbie, which is the 6 to 12-year-old girl market, and the target demographic for Phil Collins, which is also the 6 to 12-year-old girl market, completely overlapped.
So, what led to the decision around this area to implement the character Judas and Pontius Pilate so much?
Well, what we really wanted was a sense of historical accuracy. So, the horses were used in that time as a way of livelihood. So we figured, you know what? If we can teach these kids about history, about religion and politics, you know what? This will be a better game for it. We will raise some smart children.
Alright. I really had some trouble in completing that obstacle course. It's rumored as one of the harder parts of the game, but I have more trouble in the meadow, personally. What about you?
I actually found the mountain was the hardest part in playthrough. When I designed this, I knew the layout, so I didn't have too much trouble with it, but the mountain, I didn't get to play till the very end of the build, and so the gremlins hiding in the obstacle course, that really threw me.
Oh, it's starting to get dark. I think we should head back to the stable.
Oh. Alright, explain this choice in a second.
Okay.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared.
Okay, so Barbie's on Bravo Team, correct?
Barbie is on Bravo Team, yes.
Okay.
And the whole idea behind this were the management staff of RuneCraft wanted to incorporate a more male audience into the game as well. So we started working on a horror aspect to this game. And if you look really carefully, you can see different things. You're going to see guns later on, you're going to see Macho Man. That is the kind of thing that a typical teenage guy wants to see in a video game. So we incorporated all that stuff. We incorporated zombies, and we really wanted the teenage male demographic. And unfortunately they just didn't come. It was all teenage girls, it was all 6 to 12-year-old girls. And this was my fault. I take full blame for this. Although if you do look carefully, you can see me in the background on the left there with the bandana.
Oh, so you actually acted in this
Yeah, I actually got a chance to act.
Alright. Who are the other actors that you got here? I see Christopher Walken.
Yep, Christopher Walken, you see him. The zombie that you're going to see in a couple minutes is actually a guest role by Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi played the voice of Barbie. Why did he also play a zombie?
Oh, well, he's a very talented actor, He got him in the studio, and we are like, hey, Steve, there's this other role that we want you to play. Would you be willing to see it? He's like, oh, tell me about it. It's like, oh, well, you'd be a zombie, and you'd attack me. And he said, yeah. He really seemed into attacking me for some reason. I'm not sure why, but the second we said, please, attack Ron, he's all over it.
All over it?
All over it.
Did he even have to get paid for that section?
You know what? It never came up? Huh.
So, who was driving the helicopter right there? Did you guys have a professional pilot on set?
No, we actually got one of our junior Q&A staff. We figured, we're not paying him much already. Just one extra job, that's no big deal. He actually crashed and was in the hospital for 4 months.
4 months?
4 months.
Was this an early development or late development?
This was closer to the end. This was one of the later ideas we implemented. But England, free healthcare, he was fine. It didn't matter that he lost a leg.
Go over some of the decisions you made in the night section, like this part right here with the owls.
The owls, that was an interesting choice. That was actually someone in the design, like the art design aspect. So they came up to us with these concept models of these owls that they wanted to use in the horror scene intro, and we just couldn't find a good spot for them. We couldn't really incorporate them. We couldn't get them fully realized. We couldn't find a prop designer to get them. And they're like, well, we want to use them in this game. So we just kind of drew them up and we tossed them in the game. And they seem to be a good fit. There we go. That was the Trail of Organs.
Oh.
You can't actually hop that the first time. You will always stop because the horse is scared.
See, I thought I just missed the button, but that's
No, that's okay. That's okay. Most people think that, but no, it is a trail of flesh and organs.
I just can't get that double jump.
That's okay. This is a tricky segment. The night section is a lot harder than the day section. We did it on purpose.
Why is that?
I wonder if he'll come
Well, you know, when you're designing a game, you want to have a incline of difficulty. You don't want to just keep it static the entire time. You want them to have a challenge.
Unlike the beach level.
Unlike the beach level. Yeah, the beach level's kind of... I know this is a game for girls, but it was pretty substandard. Interesting thing about that cat, it was really supposed to jump out of the tree and then leap at Barbie's horse, and you were going to have to implement a QuickTime event to kick it in the face.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't get it working, so we just climbed back up the tree.
Oh, okay.
That was a poison stream you just hopped.
Wow, you guys went all out on this horror.
Oh yeah,
section.
we were very proud of the night segment.
Okay.
There you go, another poison stream. Did you hop it? Nice job.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, so...
I'll be right back.
Alright.
Try to catch them in the jar. Try to catch them in the jar. Them in the jar. 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 Jar.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ron, and shedding so much light on Barbie Racing Ride. It was a pleasure.
Not a problem. It's good to be here. Enjoy the next level in the meadow.
See you next time.
Use the directional button. Jar.